I've managed to lose 2 things today. One of which was in my hand 1 second, gone the next. Like, searched everywhere, couldn't find it. If that's ever happened to you, let me know. I feel like it slipped into another dimension. Anyway, I want to talk to you about a few different things today. Let's do that, but first let's get out of here. So what I want to talk about today is living in Central Florida, not far from Disney, and or just living in a very touristy area. I know there are a lot of people out there who they vacation to these places. They're like, oh, if only we could live here, and then they want to live here, and you should, probably, maybe, but not always. There are things you need to be aware of. There are things that you need to take into consideration, and one of them is that vacationing in a place is not the same as living in a place, which is a concept a lot of people, they struggle to wrap their head around. Now, I know what you're thinking. Obviously, it's different to live in a place versus vacation in a place. That's very true, just on the surface, but there's so much more to it, especially if the place you're considering moving is a really big vacation destination like Central Florida, like the area right around Walt Disney World. Living in a place like this is that it's simultaneously exactly like living anywhere else, but also nothing like living anywhere else, which probably sounds super confusing, but let me try and explain this in a way that makes sense. Bear with me. All of the obligations that you currently have wherever it is you live, you're going to have those obligations when you get here. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I think that this is where people go wrong. They think that, they're going to get here, it's going to be vacation every single day. I've heard some people say that too. Like when we first moved to a vacation destination, I've had people say to us like, oh, it's going to be like your honeymoon every day. And no, that is nothing like what it is to live in a vacation destination. You still have to work, you still have to figure out where you're gonna get your prescription drugs, you're still gonna have to figure out, where you're gonna go to the doctor and where you're gonna take your pets to get figured out and where you're gonna get groceries. Like all of that is still there. And so it's important to recognize that stress that you have just to live, that's coming with you. Even though the sun is shining and you're living right down the street from Walt Disney World, for example, you're still going to be just as stressed out as you would by those things that you have to do every day anyway. But it's also nothing like living wherever it is you live, because there are things that you're going to experience that you just won't experience wherever it is that you are right now, unless you already live in a vacation destination. For example, you know how when you're planning a Disney vacation, there's like peak season and low season, so on and so forth? That impacts daily life here as well, especially if you're living really close to the theme parks. Because don't forget, when the parks are crowded, it's because more people have come down. And when more people come down, it means more people on the roads. And that means more people in the shops. And things get crowded and shelves become bare. It's something that you experience here during, various seasons when people are traveling during different peak seasons. So it's something you can work around. It's something you can adjust and adapt to. We've done that ourselves, and it's fine, but it's important to recognize that nothing is going to be particularly convenient when you live in a place like this. There's going to be challenges on top of the challenges that you face every day anyway. And that probably makes you wonder, why would we live here? Well, the truth is we love it. We love this type of environment. We love being in a place that's always hustling and bustling. We enjoy this, but we're not your average people. We've spent a better part of the last 15 years living in a place like this. So even though we just moved here to Central Florida only a few months ago, well, more than a few months ago now, even though we just made that move, it was like slipping into a comfortable pair of shoes. We're used to this. We know how to make this work for us. And so it wasn't a big deal. That's not the case for everyone, and I think that's where some people run into problems. That all being said, there are so many great reasons to live in a place like this, and so I think that you should give it a shot if this is something that you want to do, but do so cautiously. Understand that it's not going to be all sunshine, rainbows all the time. I mean, lots of sunshine, some rainbows, definitely some rain, but there are good things and there are bad things. It's going to take work to make it work, but if this is what you want, if you are really passionate about living in a place like this, it'll work out for you. If you're not, maybe it won't, maybe it will, but it's worth a shot.